Hi, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Brave Briefings, a place where men and women can come and share either their stories or their tips on how we can live in a safer, more peaceful world, a world that is devoid of harassment and bullying and sexual and gender-based violence. Are
Mm.
you brave? Hi, Deborah. I hope you are
Hi,
brave.
Lois.
And welcome to the show. Would you like to
Thank you.
introduce yourself and tell the people a bit about who you are?
I will. Thank you so much for having me. It's good to be here and it's good to see you again. So, as you said, my name is Deborah. My name is Deborah McPhilemy, and I specialize in emotional intelligence. So, I help people to understand their emotions, to express their emotions, and to be brave about it. Because obviously, if we don't express ourselves appropriately, it can turn into behavior that's not always acceptable or appropriate.
So you're fitting nicely with my overall thinking. That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, what are some of the tips you can give our audience in terms of how we can be brave?
I think the first thing that people need to do is to know that it's okay to be who they are. And I think a lot of anger and a lot of violence and conflict comes, and a lot of suffering comes from when people are not allowed to be themselves. And I think so traditionally, with child raising, there's always been this thing about children should be seen and not heard. Children don't have a voice. Children need to be modeled into many versions of yourselves. They don't have a personality. We treat them differently to the way we treat adults. And I think so, taking that step of saying, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to raise a child by being their mentor, by guiding them, by leading them, instead of by this crazy attitude of suppression and discipline and violence. That just doesn't work. And I think why people struggle to change their parenting is because they don't want to be judged by their own parents by breaking that mold and doing things differently to what their parents did.
Wow. So, two things that I came up there. One is role modeling,
Yeah.
and the other is authenticity. And I've just recently added the authenticity to the A of brave because I think that's such a valuable lesson. Be
Yeah.
yourself. Fabulous.
Yeah.
So, anything else you'd like to share?
Well, the E for me is obviously really important empowerment. For me, everything is about empowerment because I think, in life, we're constantly listening to other people and we're constantly looking up at other people and we want to be like other people. No, there's only one of you. Just learn how to be yourself and learn the skills from other people of how they did certain things. How were they brave? How did they raise kind children? How did they raise their children to be confident? So it really is about empowering yourself with the skills that you need and going forward that way. In my era, it was very much about you went to the doctor if you had a problem, whether it was an emotional problem, a mental problem. We always looked up to people in white coats or anybody in an authoritative position, but you the authority. You are the authority of you. You are the authority of your child in terms of getting to know them. So it's very much about empower yourself with the skills that is going to make you the best version of yourself, but also to help your children to become the best version of themselves.
It's so important that it starts in the home. If we
Yeah.
don't start in the home, we don't stand a chance, do we?
We don't, and even that, I think a lot of people look to schools. Oh, it's schools. It's the teachers' responsibility to raise our children and educate them. No, everything starts at home. Honestly, absolutely everything. And I think the role modeling is so important. We teach children and adults how to become emotionally intelligent, and the biggest challenge. That I constantly have working with adults is when I say to them, you want your child to be emotionally intelligent. You've come to me or our tutors or whoever because you want your child to be emotionally intelligent. but you have to start with you. If you want me to teach them, you first need to become emotionally intelligent, because otherwise you kind of have this imbalance. It's almost like we want to fix somebody else or get somebody to fix somebody else, instead of looking inward and going, well, wait, if I become emotionally intelligent, then I can lead the way. I can role model this. I can show it. So for me, I think everything is an inside job. If you want somebody to be a certain way, show them how to be a certain way, show them how to be kind, show them how to be confident. So it's always an inside job.
And it's so difficult at the moment because we've got a generation of parents that are still modeling their parents'
Yeah,
old-fashioned way of bringing up children. And so we've got to break that limiting belief, that limiting behavior that they've got. So you've got a huge task having to teach those parents the emotional intelligence to allow their
yeah.
children to be authentic and brave.
I also think this generation is so busy, because there's so many parents out there with good intentions, and that's why they do go to tutors. And for the longest possible time, we try to do it in a different way of trying to get the parents to do it themselves. But then we eventually had to accept that there's so many parents that are working at the moment. It's a fast-paced life. Everybody's trying to make ends meet. So it's almost like where now it's take the parent's hand, let's guide you, let's help you, let's do this together. I'll show you and you show your children, and sort of working more in this mentorship guiding way instead of it just being one person's responsibility to do it. I think it's going back to that old saying, of that beautiful saying in South Africa about it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to change a mindset, to change a community. And I think if we all work together and do it together, we'll probably have a lot more success than trying to do everything or trying to get somebody else to do it for us.
That's so true. That community effort is so important. I had one young man, young teenager, who was so determined to make a difference, but he goes back to school and his friends say, oh, don't be a sissy. And so he stops. He can't do it
Oh,
alone. He needs support. So it
yeah,
does take that village, that community.
definitely.
So any last tips for our listeners?
Any last tips would be, so I'm very passionate about working with women and particularly with parents. So I'm going to leave my last tip for parents, and I'm going to say, remember when you met your partner and you spent so much time getting to know them, dating them, going out with them, being in love with them, falling in love with them. Do that with your child, because there's nothing that helps a child become a better person, the best possible person, to be happy, to feel fulfilled, to be seen, to feel loved, to feel accepted, just to be able to let them be who they are, than a parent that spends time with them. And so spend time with them the way you did when you met your partner and got to know them.
I got goosebumps when you said that. It's actually so, it's such an obvious lesson, but people don't do it. And
Yeah,
I think that is so important. That's lovely.
you're
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you. Wow, everyone, I do believe you should contact Deborah. We'll put her information below. She's got so much insight and so much to share with the world. And not only will she teach emotional intelligence, but she will help the people become brave as well. So thank you very much. Thank you
You're very
everybody for
welcome.
thank you everybody for watching. Please do join us. Be brave and fly free.
Ooh, I like that. Thanks, Lois. Thanks for having me.
Thanks
You're doing
very
an
much,
amazing job.
Deborah. Thanks everyone. Please watch again tomorrow for another edition of Brave Briefings. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.